Okay, so I thought I'd do another video sort of in the style of my last one I did, but this one will be more about finance and economics and why we are the underdog and we're not on top anymore. Okay, for one thing, we have essentially a service-oriented economy, and the other half is just built on funny money. I mean, like it's just brokerage and bankers and investors and people scamming other people. I mean, our whole economy is built on nothing basically. I mean, yeah, we have a service economy and very, 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 very small manufacturing. We barely make anything anymore. Like I said in the last video, we depend on China for components of everything that we do. We basically just assemble things, if anything. But it's very little. It's not substantial. We depend on China for very, very much. And the thing is here, I'm going to say this. Russia and China have been stockpiling gold like you can't even imagine. They're over there building their crash-proof fortress while they laugh at our stupid asses selling off all our gold for nothing but paper, for some toilet paper. We sold off all our gold, and the rest of it got stolen by the elites on the fateful day back in 2001. We all know what happened there. So really, the United States, I can't seem to find, the funny thing is, I can't seem to find any real true number of the gold reserves. I can't seem to find any good sources because there's so many crazy estimates out there. But one that I saw was 816.625 tons, but 816.625 tons is nothing compared to what Russia or China has. China has more gold than anybody. Go figure. China has 6,830 tons. 6,830 tons. And that's all they're admitting to. Because I've seen sources that say they have a lot more. They say that estimates can range as high as 10,000 tons. But the most, I'm going to go lowball here with the source I saw. Then it seemed to be a reliable source. So I'm going to say 6,830 tons is what China has. And Russia has 2,293.31 tons. So our 816, even if that's a real number, is a whole hell of a lot smaller than what our two biggest rivals, our two biggest nemesis, our two biggest enemies have. So yeah, our enemies seem to be outdoing us on that front as well. And here's the other thing. Sanctions and all this other stuff is only going to hurt the West. It's going to boomerang and backfire because here's the deal. Western Europe entirely depends on Russia for resources, for natural gas and for fuel because they're stupid and they want to do this green garbage that doesn't even work half the time, not as intended, and it's just bad for their entire economy, their entire way of life. Not relying on fossil fuels as they're called. I think they're something else. I don't think they're made from fossils, but that's besides the point. They depend on Russian fuel, period. They depend on their fuel. They depend on their petroleum and natural gas. And they're not going to be getting that if Russia just wants to cut off the tap one day. They'll be screwed. And, we depend on China for almost everything, really. I mean, if you really get down to the brass tacks of it, I mean, we depend on China for basically components of things, and if not components, entire products. So yeah, if China and Russia cut us off and do their own economic system like they're planning and wheeling and dealing with OPEC, you know, everybody's going to dump the petrodollar one day, and guess what? We're going to collapse overnight. Your way of life is over. Like I said in the last video, America is a lot weaker and in a lot worse of a position than most people even know or want to admit that know. I mean, I don't like it any more than the next person, but it's time to face facts. We need to all be prepped up, prayed up, and ready because Russia and China are the new, big guys on the block, especially China. They're going to be the ones making the rules. because the future is a Sino-Russian future, unfortunately, and it's not a Anglo-American, German, French future. It's a the Western Europe is going to and is in a tough predicament, and they're going to have to make a choice. They're either going to have to choose between Russia and China or the United States, and they're put in a hell of a position. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Economically speaking and militarily speaking, Russia and China are far more powerful than we are, and that we even want to give them credit for. But, most Americans don't want to see it or admit it, but, we're in a really bad position, and Putin's a very smart guy, and so is Xi, and they're putting us in a position to where, like Project Grayman said, they're doing the ultimate rope-a-dope on us, on the West. We're committing all these resources into Ukraine only to have it all destroyed. And then, when we've given all our weapons, all our resources to them and it gets destroyed, we have a hell of a time replacing it because we do not produce stuff like China can or Russia can. And it's not only that. The next war is not going to be a long enough war for us to get our war economy moving. It's going to be a very fast war because the Trojan shock armies are inside our country and they're going to destroy us swiftly, mercilessly. And that's a fact. If you don't believe it, then that's on you. But you're going to be the one holding the bag at the end of the day. I made entire scenarios showing how hybrid warfare works, fourth generation warfare. You need to go watch those if you haven't. Make a time, set aside 2 hours, and watch all of the videos. It's 36 videos long. It's called 96-Hour Invasion. So that's all I have to say on that for now. May Yeshua bless and keep you all always.